Hey everybody, welcome back to Hawks DIY. Well, we got some good weather coming the next 3 or 4 days, mid 60s. So all the snow melted off, we ain't dealing with that anymore. So I figured it'd be a good time as any to get on this 2014 Nissan Frontier. It's throwing a couple codes, check engine light come on. And so I didn't want to be out here freezing, so we got a few good days. So let's knock this thing out, figure out what's going on. All right, everybody, I've got the truck running, and I've had it running for quite a bit. I'm running the Icon T7 diagnostics scanner right now, and so here's what we've got. We've got 3 codes: P014D, P014C, and a P0300. So we have a multi-cylinder misfire. That's what it's showing on that one. Indicates a random or multiple cylinder misfire. It could be bad spark plugs, ignition coil, vacuum leak. The next one is how to fix 3 minutes. Yeah, this one is an O2 sensor. Boy, it's really running rough. I need to turn this off. But I suspect that we have some bad fuel injectors, because the P014D and the P014C is related to the O2 sensor. And it could be a catalytic converter, but it's showing misfire, which tells me we got some bad fuel injectors. That'd be the first place to look. And we need to also look for vacuum leaks and other things. There's all kinds of things this could be, but that's the codes that it's throwing. All right, with the codes we're getting, I suspect it's fuel injectors, or something to do with the fuel injectors. We got misfires. We've got the O2 sensor having issues. So basically it's an air fuel problem. So anyway, I got to get this engine cover off. I'm going to have to get this air cover for the air filter, and that connects to the throttle body over here. I got to get all this stuff out of my way so I can get to the fuel rails on top of the intake. So let's get started doing that. Yeah, the O2 sensor is going to show that it's reading, its reading's going to be off if you got a misfire, because the air fuel mixture is going to be different. So we'll just dig in and see what we can get figured out here. But it could be some, I could have a couple bad spark plugs. It could be all kinds of stuff. But we'll figure it out. What in the wide world of sports? Thought that just popped up. Yeah, there we go. Tell you what, I'm gonna put those screws back in that bracket. That way I won't lose them. It could be a vacuum problem too on one of the cylinders. Could be a fuel injector leak. Who knows? All right, I got the air part took off in the front here for your air cleaner, and this end is cracked that goes onto the throttle body, and it's pretty severe, so I know that I'll have to replace that. And then I also wanted to tell you to unhook the negative battery cable before you get too deep into the project, for safety's sake. So we'll get that off there. And then I got to take this upper intake off, and then I'll be able to get to the fuel rail on this side of the motor. Bank 1 is on this side. So it's showing the bank 1 of the oxygen sensor is the one that's throwing the code. So I know that my misfires are on this side in all probability. So let me get this upper intake off of here, and then we'll go from there. Also, guys, when you take this throttle body off, do not disconnect it from the ECM, because you'll have to reprogram the darn thing. So just unbolt it and just let it sit down here out of the way. Otherwise, you're going to create bigger problems for yourself. And we don't want that. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Alright, I got the throttle body off. I just put the bolts back in the upper intake here. So we're ready to move on. I think I got to take this bolt out here, I'm pretty sure. And so there's several 10mm bolts that holds the intake down. So I'm going to have to get all those out. And, you know, then some other stuff back here in the back. So let's get going. Let's get this thing off here. Hey, just real quick, guys, that takes a number 5 Allen wrench is what that takes for those bolts for the throttle body. And then over here, you have to pull this canister off. That takes a number 12mm socket. And the reason you got to take that off is you got all of these intake bolts. Those are 10mm, and there's 6 of them all together. There's actually one. Where's he hiding? I don't know if you can see him right there. He's hiding back there. And then the rest of them are back here. So anyway, that's how you pull that off. And then you got to pull this wiring harness. They got them clipped in. You just push that out of your way. And then there's also a connector back here. Have to be unconnected. And then there's also a vacuum hose in the back. So that's everything that's connected to the upper intake that you have to pull off. Alright guys, there's also 2 bolts. There's one here, and there's one right here that you got to pull for that upper intake. I didn't see those, forgot all about them, but they're 12mm. Take a 12mm wrench or socket. Okay, I got all the bolts out. I think I got everything loosened up. The bolts that were on this bracket are out. The only thing I didn't get is the vacuum hose in the back, but I think that once I pull it up, I'll be able to get to it better once I get it pulled up and pulled towards the front. So now we gotta get this thing to come up out of here. So almost feels like there's still another bolt in it. Can't be. Yep, there's one right there I missed. 10mm. That's why she's so stiff. That's what she said. Nothing. All right. Get this last bolt out of here. I should have already had it out of here. Know how that goes. Bunch of nonsense here. Come on now, I can't see nothing. Help me understand. All right, I got it. Now she should come right up out of there. Yep, I can feel it's loose now. There we go. Boy, you can smell that gas. Whoa. Hold on a second. Okay, this doohickey should come right up out of here now. If it don't, I'm just gonna have a high-speed come apart. I'm gonna do that anyway, Jeff says. You're probably right. Oh, he always thinks he's right about everything, I tell you. Come on now. Come out of there. Oh, that's why. That connector's got to come off there. There's always something. Help me understand. Help me understand. Take an act of Congress just to get an upper intake off the motor. Pretty ridiculous. You can't get to nothing. Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. Oh, you booger. Come on. Oh. Son of a pigeon eater. All right. After 40 beers and an enema, I got the upper intake off. What a freaking nightmare. Jeez. Well, did I speak too soon? Yeah, I did, because there's still another connector. I got it. Boy, I'm just turning this into a comedy show. You know? There it goes. All right, finally. Get on out of here. All right, there you go, guys. I got the upper intake off, and looks like it's kind of dirty, to be honest with you. So, anyway, here is the Bank One fuel rail right here, and you'll see you got 1, 2, 3 fuel injectors. Here's the other fuel rail for the driver's side, and it'll have 3 over there as well. So I think my plan is, since I got some misfires going on, that I'm going to change the plugs too, since I'm in this deep. I'm going to go ahead and put new plugs in it, and I'm going to pull these old fuel injectors out and I'm going to clean them in the supersonic cleaner, and then I'm going to put new seals on them and reinstall them. And I'm going to do that first, see if that clears the codes by changing the plugs and cleaning the fuel injectors. And the reason I'm doing that is because these fuel injectors cost $150 a piece. So I'm trying to save some money here. So that's the plan. So I guess what I should do right now, since I'm going to have to let this sit overnight, it's getting towards the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and put some paper towels in that intake so that no debris falls down, gets into the engine. So we're going to do that, and then I'm just going to go inside and get some plugs. I changed plugs in this 2 or 3 years ago, I believe it was, and come to find out, I think I put Champions in there, which I think it calls for iridium plugs, and I believe they got to be NGK. So I didn't do that. That was the original plugs, was the NGK. So maybe I go back to the original plugs, and then, like I said, do these fuel injectors and then see where we're at. It's worth a shot. All right, I got 3 of the spark plugs out of bank 1 on the passenger side of the engine, and here they are, and they look horrible. Now this is cylinder 1, and it just looks horrible. I mean, these plugs look like they've had 70,000 miles on them. Here's cylinder 3. So they look horrible. And here's cylinder 5. Now it doesn't look as bad as the other 2, but still doesn't look great. So I think what's happened is I put the wrong plugs in this truck a year or 2 ago, to be honest with you. I went ahead and I put some paper towels in the intake and the spark plug holes. That way nothing gets down the engine while I'm going and getting parts and all that, because I probably won't get back to this until tomorrow. But I just wanted to show you those plugs. They look horrible. I think what happened was I put Champion plugs in it because they were cheaper, and I paid the price. I should have put NGKs in it. Well, it's the next day, and the good thing about sleeping on something for 24 hours is you got a better picture of what you need to do, how you need to move forward. So I've thought about this, and I think what I'm going to do is I've got these other 3 spark plugs I need to get out, and coils as well, and I'm going to put brand new plugs in and test all of these coils. So that's the plan right now. I'm going to wait on the fuel injectors because I don't see any visible leaks. I also didn't unpressurize the system, so I don't really want to tear into that, cause a big old mess. So I'm going to focus on the plugs and the coils and get all that fixed. But this morning I tested the three coils on bank 1, and I discovered I got 2 bad coils, guys. So later in the video I'll show you how to test these coils for resistance, and I'll show you that later on in the video. But first, let's go ahead and get these this other bank 2, let's get all the plugs out and the coils, and then once I have everything tested, I'll know how many coils I need and I got to get spark plugs. I also need to get a new air intake hose because it's cracked. You can see it. It's pretty bad too. See it right there? It's cracked bad. So I got to replace that, and I got to get I'm going to have to get a gasket kit for the upper intake as well. So that's the plan, and that's how we're going to move forward from here. All right, well, had me some lunch, and so I got me some sustenance. But anyway, I went and made a part run too. So I got, this is the new spark plug. This is the correct spark plug for the 4.0 liter V6 for the Nissan Frontier. And the number on it is DIL FR 5A11. Part number is 93759. So anyway, that's the correct spark plug. And then I also got a air intake coupler. Remember I showed you the one that was broke. So I got this kit, which actually gives me the other one too. But this is the one I was needing right here. And so I went ahead and got that taken care of. Got me some shop towels. And so I've waited on the coil packs because I've got 3 that are testing bad on an ohm resistance test. They're outside of spec. And then I've got 2 that are just right on the cut line of being in spec. And then I've got 1 that's testing just fine. So I think it's best just to replace the whole set. And unfortunately, these are like $100 a piece. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is probably go and see if I can order these on Rock Auto and maybe have them shipped. So, but I haven't decided on that just yet. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead though today and at least get the spark plugs in and get that part of it done so that that'll be over with. And then we'll get to these coils and figure out what we're gonna do there. All right, first spark plug's going in. And look how new and shiny that looks. Why don't you just look at it? Look at that. So these are already gapped, so you don't have to gap them. And listen to that guy over there with his square body. Sounded pretty nice, didn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Good. All right, plug's going in. I'm gonna drop her down there. Where's my socket at? There we go. All right. A little bit of a breeze.
I had to go put shorts on.
Yeah, it's about 70 some odd degrees today. It's pretty nice. So I'm just gonna put that in finger tight first. Yes, sir. Come on now. That's the thing about spark plugs. The threads are so long, it takes forever to get it all the way threaded in, you know. Come on now. All right, come on. Any day now. My forearm's getting sore. It's hurting. Oh. All right, I think it's ready for the socket wrench. Yeah, I'm gonna get all these in, and you don't have to go crazy on them. You'll feel that lock washer, and then that's good. That's all you need. Just snug. All right, first one's in. Now I got to do the rest of them, so I'll come back after I get those in. All right, fellers and fellettes, I was going to show you how to check these coils for ohm resistance. And so you're going to go to 2K ohm setting, and then you're going to do, you'll first start out on pin 1, go to pin 2. It should be infinite resistance. Then you do pin 1 to pin 3, should be infinite resistance, which is 0.0 L. And then from 2 to 3, you should have anywhere from 1.49 kiloohms to 1.57. So you should be in that range, and obviously this here coil is not in the range. It's at 1.43. It should be at least 1.49. Now that reading is from pin 2 to pin 3. So again, pin 1 to pin 2, infinite resistance. Pin 1 to pin 3, infinite resistance. Those two readings are fine. Pin 2 to 3 is not within range. So there you go. That's how you test for ohm resistance. All right, I thought I would show you what one that, a good coil, what it's going to test. So again, you're going to be 1 and 3, infinite resistance. 1 and 2, infinite resistance. But when you do 2 and 3, see, it's 1.55. That's within range. Remember, the range is 1.49 to 1.57. So this is what a good coil should test. Alright guys, so I got all the plugs in. I showed you the ohm resistance test. And so now I need to get on the interwebs, and I need to figure out what coils I'm going to buy, because I'm going to have to get a coil kit for this truck. If I've only got one good coil, it doesn't make any sense to just buy 5, So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can order some or look around locally. So it may be a day or two before I get back on this job, but until then, I'm going to do my homework, and then we'll finish this thing up here soon. Well, it's the next day, and I've got some good news. Found some coils. So, and ironically, it's locally, so that's even better. But the part, I'm going to go with the Hitachi brand ignition coil. They're a Japanese company, and this coil is a premium coil. And well, it's listed as a premium coil on Rock Auto. So it's a Japanese company, and obviously the Nissan is a Japanese truck. So anyway, Napa's got it locally here for $60 a piece. Now I can get it cheaper on Rock Auto, but then I'm gonna have to wait a few days to get it. So I just thought I'd just go ahead and knock that out today. So today's gonna be a parts day. And I've also got to replace these gaskets on this upper intake. So I still have to get that gasket set. And it replaces these here that set on the intake, and then this gasket right here for the where it joins up with the throttle body. So that's got to be replaced. So I still got to get that. Yeah, this turned out to be kind of an expensive deal, you know. But I'm also today I'm going to clean up the I'm gonna clean all this up, the intake. I'm gonna clean this all up real good today. I'm gonna spray all these connectors with cleaner, and for the ignition coils, and I'm gonna get all that stuff done. I'm also gonna clean the upper intake real good. It's pretty dirty and just needs to be wiped down and cleaned up and tidied up a little bit. But that's the plan for today. So I'm not sure what all I get done, but I gotta go get the parts. So that's gonna take up a little bit of time because I gotta drive to go get them. So anyway, we'll see you whenever I get the parts, I guess. All right, I just got back from Napa Know-How and Advanced Auto Parts. So anyway, I got the ignition coils, so we're good to go on that. I got the gaskets I need. So we got everything to get going here. So I'm going to get started on the ignition coils. Like I said, these are Hitachi's. And there is the part number right there. And these, according to Rock Auto, are a premium original equipment part. So we should be good to go. And I mean, I was thinking, you know, put Japanese parts on Japanese vehicle. Makes sense, right? So we're going to get started here and get these ignition coils installed. All right, fellas and fellas, I wanted to show you real quick what a brand new coil should test. So you remember I showed you, you know, pin 1 to pin 2 is infinite resistance. Should be 0.0 L. Pin 1 to pin 3, same deal, infinite resistance. But when you go from pin 2 to 3, that right there, 1.56, that's what a good coil should look like. So I just wanted to show you that. So the resistance on pins 2 and 3 should be right around 1.55 to 1.56. That's what a new coil should test. Okay, to get started, I'm going to use some of the CRC electronic cleaner, and that way it'll dry. But I'm going to spray down all the connectors going to the ignition coils. That'll make sure the wiring's all clean. Oh. Alright, here is number 4. And it just needs, all you gotta do is spray it. A couple sprays is all you need. You don't have to go overboard with it. Alright, there's number, well, it should be 6, right? No, that's 5. Where's the other one? There's 3. Alright, so that's done. Okay, I'll install one of these coils so you can see how it's installed, and then I'll just go around and install the rest, and I won't bore you with all that. I'll just show you how to install one, and then we'll move on. But again, this is Hitachi. It says made in Japan on it, so we're just gonna, I'll do this one up here because I can reach it, but we'll do this is gonna be cylinder 1, so we'll get her down in there, and it's gonna be kind of tough to get the connector on it. I'll tell you what, I'll do this one since that's gonna be a little rough. But yeah, you just put them in. They've got, one side's got the bolt and the other side's for the connector. Just make sure you put it in on the right side. You get it all the way seated in there. Like so. Okay, and then there's a 10 millimeter bolt, and just put that in there and tighten it down with a socket and a ratchet. And then the coil is installed back onto the plug. So there's nothing to it. So we'll get this one in there and get the other 5 done. And then we'll be on the downhill swing on this deal, and I'm happy about that for sure. And then you just clip your harness back on. Make sure it's not pinched in any way, and you'll hear it click. So that one's installed. Let's get the other 5 now. All right, I got all of the new coils installed and bolted down. So we're looking good there. Here's the other side. So they all look good. So I've got all of that done. I've got all the harnesses hooked back up to them. So now we gotta focus our attention on getting this upper intake ready to be put back in. So I got to get these gaskets installed. That's going to be the next phase. So I'm glad to get to this point. Man, you talk about a battle. And so I got to remember to install this on there too, this new piece that I had to get. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm glad I'm getting this thing knocked out. Okay, fellers and fellettes, now we got to replace these gaskets for this upper intake. And like I said, I got this Felpro MS 96943 kit to do the upper intake. So the easiest way to do this, they got a little tab on the sides, and you just pull it up like that, and it pulls them out. Nothing to it. So you can see these had kind of gotten smashed in a couple areas. You know, some bad spots there. So definitely a good idea to change them. These have been on there 2 years because it was 2 years since I took this upper intake off. So anyway, we'll just install the new gaskets, and then we'll be good to go there. We also got to do the other end, and that's the same deal. It's got a little tab on it. It's got a little tab. You can see it right here. So it's got a little tab on that one that goes up on the throttle body. So that's all there is to it on the gaskets. All right, I got the gaskets installed. So they're all looking pretty and blue and stuff. And then I got the gasket put in for the throttle body. So something else I wanted to show you that I just think is interesting. So I come up here on the intake and I just kind of spot cleaned, and I noticed that we had 4 bad coils, right? Well, 2 of them, the 2 that were good, was on cylinder 4 and cylinder 6. Well, look how clean cylinder 6 is on the intake, and then look how clean cylinder 4 is, and the rest just look like crap. So that's a good indicator right there that I had an issue right there, just looking at the intake. So anyway, I'm gonna put that there upper intake on here and get moving along. All right, well, I got the intake manifold installed, and I just wanted to tell you that on the plenum bolts, these bolts here, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 of them total. Those, you torque them to 60 inch-pounds on the first pass, and then on the second pass, it's 96 inch-pounds. So that's what you want to do on that. So I've got that all done. I've got everything buttoned up, put back. So I've got to put the air cleaner back on the throttle body and those new parts that I got. So I'm going to be doing that next. So we're slowly getting there. Hopefully I can get this thing started tonight and see if our codes go away. If not, we'll do it in the morning. Well, it's been a long day. I think it's after 5 o'clock now, but I've got the air intake, the new air intake hose installed. And so I put both the new ones on. The old one's laying over there. Well, look how rough that other one looked. So I'm going to get that installed. Then I got to clear out the codes. But I think I'm going to wait to start her up tomorrow. It's getting late in the day and I'm just freaking whooped. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Well, it's the next morning and we're ready to start this Nissan Frontier and see if the code's clear. So we're going to get going on that. I just thought I'd mention a few things. The coils, they had 70,000 miles on them, the old coils. And we know that at least 4 of those coils were bad. We also know that all the champion plugs that I put in here were the wrong plugs. So that is all fixed. And anyway, I've got everything buttoned up. We're good to go. So I've got to put the negative cable on and then hook up the scanner. So that's the plan. And then we're going to start this truck and we're going to run another scan and see if we get any more codes. So hopefully, cross fingers, hopefully we won't have any. So anyway, let me put you up on the stand and then I'll get this truck started and we'll see what happens. All right, I got the negative battery cable on. So let's start her up first before I hook up the scanner. Here comes the thunder. Well, that's a good sign. The check engine light's not on. Boy, she's running smooth. let's just let her cycle through and let the computer do its thing. It'll eventually idle back down, but right now I'm not seeing any the check engine light went off. That's a great sign. While it's idling, I'm going to check. Boy, she's running smooth, guys. So far, so good. Wow, she sounds really good. So far, so good. All right, let's hook up the scanner and I'll run a scan. Okay, we're inside the cab. Got the windows up so we can hear a little better. But we'll go into diagnostics. Let it do its thing. And we'll do a full system scan again and see if we have anything else. I know there'll be some codes for the tires, because the tire pressures, I think, are a little low. Let's do a full system diagnosis. 16 pin all system code scan. A little bit of a rough idle there, but it straightened out. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit. It's in progress, 5%, so I'll come back here in a second. Success, guys. It only threw one code, and it's for the body control module, and that's for the tires, like I was telling you, low tire pressures. So we're back in the good. Also, I just wanted to show you the check engine light is off. You can see my fuel's getting pretty low. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the tank up, because you never know, I may have some stale gas. And so I'm going to fill the tank up, and I'm going to do some research on whether or not I should put some fuel injector cleaner or something like that in here. So anyway, all right, that's going to do it for the 2014 Nissan Frontier. I got it running good again, so I'm really happy. I couldn't have done it without the Icon T7 scanner. That thing has just it's been worth every penny, let me tell you. So what have we learned? Well, you know, like at the beginning of this video where I say I'm a doofus, do not do what I do. Well, it's there for a reason. Don't put champion plugs in a 2014 Nissan Frontier. Stick with the original equipment spark plug, and that's an NGK. And I think that was the major contributor to this problem. And also really search around on them ignition coils, because man, they can get pricey. So anyway, I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, doesn't cost anything. It really helps the channel. And I look forward to the next projects coming up. I think the next thing I'm going to do on the Nissan is get back on here and drop the transmission pan and change the transmission filter. I mentioned in previous videos I wanted to do that, so I think I'm going to get that done. And so there'll be that video coming up. And then also guitar videos. I got a couple more of those projects coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. And I guess until next time, get out, do something. Nice weather's coming, spring's here, so get out and enjoy yourself. We'll see you.